I've been really into the whole cottagecore aesthetic lately, and ideally I would live my life as a hobbit all day, every day. So to get one step closer to that, today I'm going to be making my very own pinafore dress out of a tablecloth. So the tablecloth that I got is this light green color that has sort of this nice liney, crosshatchy texture in it. It looks more vibrant than this off of camera. And I also have this vintage skirt pattern from the 1980s that I'm going to use as a base. Except I won't be putting these buttons down the front, so I'll cut the front of it in one piece. The only problem is I don't know if I have enough fabric for this because the tablecloth is not that big. But I really hope I can make this work. Before I could make my skirt, I had to take my waist measurement and my hips measurement so that I knew what size of skirt I needed to make, and I think it ended up being size 14. So once I had that size, I was able to retrieve my sewing supplies behind this antique bed frame that I will be using up in my college town in the room that I'll be moving into very soon. And this is just me figuring out how little of the fabric I needed to fold over to get the pattern piece to fit so that when I cut it out, it would all be one piece and I wouldn't need to cut two of them and sew them together, because I want the front of the skirt to just be one continuous piece. So I lined up the center front with the edge of the fold, and then I cut around the remaining three sides. And as you can see here, when I unfold it, it is one piece that goes across the entire front. So I had enough fabric to cut out the skirt, but I won't have enough left to cut out the body and the straps of it in addition to the pockets. So I found this leftover canvasy material from when I made an apron for myself, and I'm cutting out the pockets with this. So once I had all the pieces of the skirt, I was able to sew them all together using a straight stitch on my sewing machine, and here's me sewing the pockets in. And then once I sewed all of the seams together, I serged the raw edges to prevent fraying on the inside of the garment. It is day 2 of sewing my pinafore dress. I've sewed all of the skirt pieces together. And now I'm going to put a zipper into this back seam here. And then after that, I will start gathering it to be my actual waist size. This is the seam where I will be inserting the zipper, and you'll notice that when I was serging I missed a few spots, so I just went over those with a zigzag stitch. It's kind of the same thing, and it's something that you can do to secure the raw edges. If you don't have a serger, you can just use a zigzag stitch. And this is the zipper I got. It's very close to the color of the fabric, which is very nice. So you just want to put that upside down over the seam, and then I just pinned it in, and I opened the zipper before I pinned it in so that it would be easier to tear the seam open once I had sewed it in. And this is the zipper foot, and you want the zipper foot to align with the outside of the zipper. And now this is me actually sewing the zipper in. This took me way too long, so many tries to figure out. It was very frustrating, and I actually needed to get my mom's help to figure it out. But once I did figure it out, it was very easy to do. But I definitely recommend, if you've never sewed a zipper before, definitely watch a video tutorial or get someone to help you, because it can be very confusing. And that's actually the last thing I did on day 2, because my dad took me out to go searching for the comet Neowise. And we ended up at this old church that had a graveyard and a military cemetery. And it was a very pretty area, and it was out in the country, so everything was dark. And as you can see in these photos, we did find the comet. So that was very cool. It is day 3 of making this dress, and I'm cutting out the pieces for the top half of the dress. I made this square out of paper. That'll be the top little pinafore section. And then I also have to cut out the waistband and the straps. I have a Maranta. I gathered the stitch by running 2 straight stitches with no back stitch, and then pulling on the top thread only, which bunches up the skirt. This is the skirt of the dress. Almost done. I need to finish the waistband and hem it. It's a little loose, but I'll add a clasp to the waistband to fix that. Yeah, here's the bottom part of the dress. Here I am ironing down where I serged the top of the waistband, and I'm doing this so that I can fold it over and sew it to the inside of the skirt and finish the waistband. And there's my sister popping in to say hi. And I just sewed this in with an invisible stitch. It's the same day, different shirt. And I'm going to sew together these 2 squares to be the top of the pinafore.
One eternity later.
Okay, so I got a bit busy for a while, but I'm back today working on my pinafore. I did a little bit off camera. I made the straps and I sewed buttons onto them, and I sewed buttonholes into the square. So now the front of the dress looks pretty done. I just have to attach the straps to the back. I'll do a little crisscross pattern. And then I have to hem the bottom of the skirt still, because right now it's just the serger stitching. And I'm also going to add a hook and eye to the back to make the waistband tighter because it's a little loose right now. But those are my last steps, and then the dress will be done, and I'm super excited. It looks really cute, and I can't wait to finish it. So because the waistband with the zipper alone was still a little too loose, I left over some of the waistband hanging off of the zipper, and I added a snap closure and a hook and eye to the back of the skirt so that it would make the waist a little tighter and fit me better. And these are really easy to sew on. I will link some tutorials on how to do this in the description. I messed up a little bit up here, and the thread went through up top a little bit, but it's on the inside, so no one will notice. After that, my last steps were hemming the bottom of the dress, which I'm doing here very simply by folding over the serging and then folding it over again so that you can't see the serging. And then sewing in the straps. Okay, so I sewed the straps to the back and I hemmed the bottom, and all I have to do is get rid of the excess strap that is hanging off of where I sewed it, and then this dress is done. I really love this. It's super cute. I made this. I'm so happy. I look like a hobbit. My life is complete.